Call to order.
All right.
this first, I'll show you that after.
Okay.
Way to hold it.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome. Let's find my agenda. I have it here somewhere. Signature page. Oh my God. We have a lot. Yeah, we just had a,
It's a Bayman form.
yeah, a payment on a vehicle that was registered here, but it should have been registered in Conway, so anyway. We have the Pine River Road reconstruction dirt work. You wanna talk on that?
That's a contract with Dawson Excavating, who was the winning recipient of the RFP for the dirt work portion of Pine River Road. That work is going to start later this month, which I will discuss in my report later on.
So you wanna hold off and sign that? No,
Yeah, I haven't signed any of this stuff yet, so I'll do that before.
you sign this one then. That's the one I just talked first of.
Yeah, I haven't done any of those, the signature folder, I'll take the folder after,
Okay, I
that's what
got
I'm saying.
you. Gotcha. I have a bunch of, current use applications. Disability for reduction in property taxes. Timber cut. Another one. Wetlands reduction. Current use. And this one's a franchise agreement. You wanna talk on that one with Spectrum?
I mean, the only thing is I got it, I haven't gotten to read through it most myself, I was looking more to see if you guys had questions.
We do this every year.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we get a 3%, I believe is what it states in the contract from what I glanced at.
Okay, do we have to sign this?
Yes,
Correct.
Where?
on the signature line.
I don't see a signature line.
So, yeah, I think it's only one.
Town administrator.
Oh, so if you guys give me permission, I'll sign it, I just wanted to
You
sign,
signed it last week.
Yeah, go for it.
yeah, I'll sign it after.
Right. So we'll leave this all together right here. For you,
And Rosemary, cause there's some stuff in there she hasn't signed
I
yet.
think I signed everything.
you verify.
Yeah, if I missed anything, just throw it back this way.
Alright, make a motion to approve the manifest dated May 8, 2025 in the amount of $467,878.58.
I s-
For- 409,000 of it approximately was for the school. Make a,
You made the motion, I second.
discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we have a choice?
Absolutely. No, we don't have a
Can we
choice.
skip the school payment?
Make a motion to, it's already paid, make a motion to approve the manifest dated May 15, 2025 at the amount of $37,705.01.
Second,
All in favor?
aye,
Aye. Make a motion to approve the Board of Selectmen minutes dated April 29th, 2025.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Mail. County office, has a training for, right to know law. This will be held June 2nd at, county office, right?
The annex,
The annex.
from 2 to 4 on Monday, June 2nd.
Where's the annex?
It's the former nursing home,
Oh, okay.
Maureen, myself.
Okay,
and it's put on by, the instructors NHMA. from
yeah,
NHMA.
Jonathan,
Leo, you said June second, right?
yes, I did.
Yeah, June second, 2 to 2.
Want me to copy, or you're all set?
So I did, I mean, on that right there, if we wanna talk about it right now, I did make the recommendation personally, and I made the statement on 1/3. That I recommend that everybody attends that, maybe we close the office a little bit early. I know that Andrea expressed an interest, so did Michelle, so it's not just right to know, you get into, 91A stuff, most likely in that, and which it's all 91A, which is right to know.
So can you,
I think both JT and Tyler also want to attend as well.
so can you, get the numbers of people, it's $10 each.
Yep, so,
But, you know, I hate to make 10 different checks, you know, if we can all do it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, that would,
Yeah.
yeah,
is
yeah,
board, or is board also,
I plan on going.
I don't wanna go.
so 2? 2,
Yes.
okay. You sure? Be fun.
Do you have any idea do you see who organized this, right?
It's 2 to 4, right?
It's 2 to 4.
Yeah, I'm on.
Alright, so get a number and then,
Yep, I'm also planning to share it with, some boards, like the chairs of boards, so if they also.
Especially-
Oh, yeah,
attend.
Maureen said planning board.
Yeah,
She
planning
wanted,
board,
did
I'll
you
send-
email that to them? Remember she asked for you to email it to the planning board yesterday?
I'm gonna do it, so I haven't done it yet, but I will.
what if you just put it on the website?
I could,
Get some information out there.
It would, obviously, I have no issue with paying for the boards, but if like anybody from
Oh, no, no, right,
citizens or anything.
Right.
yeah, it had to be all
Yeah,
elected
yeah.
officials,
okay,
right? We also had a letter from Camp Marcus. They're opening June 1st to August 31st, and they got 250 campers coming in with 100 staff members. So. Oops. And we did have a resident complain about the rat issues in the state of New Hampshire. So, Bill was able to pull some information out. So, I guess, I don't know what to
Maybe
say.
I can go on the website,
he's like, I can, yeah,
only because I know people were complaining on social media, so maybe direct them, go to the website, see what you can do. And what do you think?
Yeah, I mean.
I mean, obviously,
There's all kinds of things out there, this is Year of the Rat, I'm sure several people have, I mean, it's not just a, you know, hoarding or, you know, poorly kept yards, everybody that, you know,
it's statewide.
it is statewide, and I talked to I don't believe their title was a biologist, but they, work for the state. One of the reasons is, rats have 2 litters a season, and the winter normally, creates a mortality rate that's very high for the first one, because it falls between, it falls in the late winter, early spring. And last winter, as everybody knows, we didn't get any snow for the entire month of February, we didn't get any snow in March until the 3rd week, we get the bigger snowstorm. So it wasn't terribly, with that cold snap, but during their, birthing, it was warm.
right,
Unusually, unseasonably warm, and it didn't have the mortality rate that they normally do, so that's one of the driving factors behind the increase in population, is what I was told.
Well, you're all set if you have a lot with no land.
Correct.
You know, so,
If you have land with no land, you wouldn't have rats.
that's true.
be great zoning.
This is gonna be fun to, you know, this is gonna be fun
I
for a
see
while.
that.
Maybe you can tax the rats, but not the land.
Alright, moving on.
Roman meat?
Department reports, we'll start with, Tyler, and can you call?
I'll text her now and see.
She was just here,
Oh.
but I I don't know which one.
Spring. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. April, 286 calls for service, 2 arrests. I added another category, offense reports, and I'll explain what that is. Just because it may look like our motor vehicle stops have dropped a little bit, but what we're getting into is a lot of investigations that are long, drawn out things. So anytime we pull an offense report is anything that's gonna require a warrant, follow-up, or an investigation resulting in a potential warrant if, the investigation concludes where charges can be filed. So that just gives you an idea, in 30 days, we took 10 offense reports between the two of us.
Wow.
And him on the last couple days of the month when he started. So that just gives you an idea of how many, calls basically are generating, follow-up reports. So it's really anything like theft related, past tense assault.
Okay, so I was gonna ask.
Like things like that. It could be, like we had one last week, which will be in next month. It's conduct after an accident. There was a side swipe on Green Mountain Road. Anything that results in,
Is that the same one as the side swipe on Champion?
right at the
Road?
bottom. It's
Okay,
right in
okay.
technically it happened on Green Mountain Road.
Gotcha.
But anything that's gonna result in, a potential warrant, an investigation, a follow-up, like anything that's gonna result in multiple follow-ups that we need to keep a chain documented into a report. So that just gives you an idea of like our total call for service versus what we're doing, day in, day out. And we usually don't pull an offense report for anything that doesn't require extensive follow-up or gonna result in a warrant. So anytime we pull an actual offense report, which is one of our like big, in-depth reports, it's something relatively major.
Okay.
60 motor vehicle stops, 4 motor vehicle accidents, and Jesse and I had a busy month, we had 6 deployments. 2 tracks, we had a building search, and we had 3 drug sweeps, which all resulted in fines, drugs actually.
Okay. And what town?
One was in Effingham, one was in Madison, one was in Wakefield for the drugs, the building search. And one of the tracks was in Wakefield, and then the other track was in Tuftonboro.
Some mutual aid.
What's that?
Mutual aid.
Yeah, mutual aid. The one in Tuftonboro, we actually got called out. I'd just recently gone off duty, and I just finished taking all this off, and my phone rang. They're like, "Hey, hope you're not undressed yet." So I went to Tuftonboro, and it was. I think we were there for 5 minutes before we were at the person's feet. Jesse found them like that. It was somebody that fled from Tuftonboro PD. They didn't run very far. But just the way they went, they weren't able to see him, and it was a very, very quick track. The one in Wakefield was a couple hours we were there tracking the guy. It was a long, drawn out track. The conditions were really rough, very, very windy. It ended up resulting in, we did find him later. Actually, Jesse and I were leaving after he fled in a vehicle, and we, sweeped his car. She alerted on the car, and Wakefield police got consent to search. Got narcotics out of the car. We left, and then found the guy walking down the road. And I think the only thing that stopped him from running again was her barking in the back. So, and then
It's not his first rodeo.
No. And we actually the building search was on that same call. We thought he made entry into a camp because there was multiple open doors. All the doors were open, which is in the direction the track was headed. So we actually let the dog clear the building before we went in. So. And then that last one was in the town of Madison, which I was on my way home, and Madison police had stopped a car for suspected drug activity, and Jesse alerted, ended up seizing the car, and resulted in a narcotic seizure after a search warrant. So.
Cool. Good.
Yeah.
Any questions?
I will be gone probably Monday and maybe Tuesday next week, going down to Mass for our annual certification. I'm not going to be gone the whole week because of what's going on with my wife. I don't want to be too far away from home for the whole week. With that being said, I actually been in contact with a trainer down there that actually is going to come up the end of this summer and run us through the rest of our certifications that we need. And then the town of Freedom's dog is going through the patrol school that Jesse and I went through this year, or they're going through this summer. So at the conclusion of their school, that trainer is also going to certify them.
Okay.
So he's doing it he actually has a vacation house in Old Orchard Beach. He's gonna come up with his family and then just pop over for a day or two with us and run us through everything. So that way I don't have to stress about being down there for the week to get everything done with the 60+ teams that are down there.
Sounds good.
So,
Okay, great. Any other additional questions?
Nope.
Thank you.
thank you.
You're up.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy. How are you all?
Very well, yourself?
I'm okay, hobbling along. Pretty summary report. Last month, things are still pretty quiet. And I haven't had a lot of time to drive around and look for problems since I'm still on limited hours, since I'm still doing sessions of PT for my knee. So if anyone has any questions, there really wasn't anything.
No, you only have, what, 4?
4 permits and one denial. Yeah, and the denial was that I wrote back saying we need this additional information to complete the application, and they never responded.
Okay, so we talked about that, yeah.
Yeah.
And,
And I included my, in sending them back the denial, I included a copy of what I had said that they were supposed to have provided, and I included that with the copy that we'll have filed and everything, so it'll be pretty well documented.
thank you. Alright, any questions?
The 8 is the, I mean, it could be just a typo, I mean, no offense by this. The 860 Green Mountain Road, is that the same family? Should it be I instead of E? Or is it a different family? Just out of curiosity too.
That's Tim,
It is
Tim's
Tim?
fam.
Yeah, he spells it with an I, so.
I assume it's Tim, since it's the lot
Yep.
next door that he built a barn on.
Yep,
And that, it's just a typo then, yeah.
and
Let's not
the
worry too much about it.
881 Green Mountain, that building's gone.
Where?
881, 2 above that one, the
Yeah.
demo, waiting for asbestos, the building's gone.
Yeah, that's Evans?
Yep,
It's gone,
it's gone, it's been gone for a while.
2 months.
Yeah, he never I mean, I didn't get down there, you know, I was out much, but he never completed the application. He was
He is a man with no land.
supposed to get back to me. Just, I mean, for asbestos and lead, you know, it's pretty simple state stuff. In fact, the lead is all voluntary, the asbestos is the only stuff that the state
So why don't,
requires signing off on, so I'll follow up on that.
yeah, why don't you just contact them and contact the person? See if he has the reports.
Yeah.
Another question?
Yeah, this applicant's name is Mosquito.
That's all that.
Yeah,
And
that's
Marsh?
what's listed on the holdings,
Okay.
and I did verify, as with some of our others, I did verify that we had documentation that there was a real person that was authorized to sign off.
Okay,
One of the problems with our change with so many LLCs and whatever is that, you know, an LLC or a trust can't really sign a document. And so I have to make sure that there's a document in the file for who's authorized to sign.
Is that one of the first houses you got, I went Dobson, right?
It's
it's gotta be quite a ways down.
It's all the way down when you turn left. Well,
Before the
it's
cemetery?
sort of left, it's right, well, we had this discussion, it's right where the Class 6 road is. And the maps show it as having 50 feet.
Dearborn Trail with the classic portion, the last house.
Yeah,
Oh,
so,
it's on the left.
yeah, it's on the left.
So you got
And-
that field
And
cleared up
according
in
to
the back.
according to driving in there and where the signs are, the driveway's off of Class 6 road, according to our maps. The Class 5 road extends just past the driveway, so we've got.
Yeah, got it. Okay. Any additional questions?
And just so you know, this one, 74 Henry Drive, I'm probably gonna look at the map, because that's a pretty substantially, it's a nice sized house with a mud room. The last I knew, there was no vacant lots left in there.
No, it's got a garage on it.
Okay,
There's already a garage, so as you drive along, and I drove back and forth trying to figure it out, because when I issued the permit for the garage, I thought I remembered a longer driveway. But I think maybe it hadn't been cleared as much, and so it felt like a long driveway.
right,
Cause maybe the driveway wasn't even built, so I hiked up there.
Is that the right hand side or left?
It's on the right hand
Right-hand
side.
Yeah, okay, I got
And
it
you look
down.
up there and there's a little two-car garage, and I'm pretty sure,
I know what you're talking about.
no, I mean, it's not vacant, but,
okay,
okay.
thank you.
Yep.
Do you have anything for us?
I don't think so,
Okay.
I don't think so, no,
I was,
what am I working on? Issued a permit, I just issued an RV permit for the folks on 15 Morris Avenue. And read them the riot act that they need to get their wetlands flagged and done.
And you got a date when they have to be out.
me,
Well, it's October, the 150 days is October 10th or 11th, so
Okay.
that's pretty,
They're aware of that.
they're aware of that, yeah. Otherwise, I've got a bunch of little things pending. I've got some site visits to do, to get them off my plate. And I just sent you an email, I need a cartridge for my printer. I thought I sent you a text like a month ago.
I ordered one. You didn't get one?
who's that?
Yeah,
That's
I
hers.
don't know.
No, cause Carol
I
wants
felt
one
it too.
too. Well, I'll take a peek for you.
Yeah,
I
it's for
I
the,
swore I ordered it, so that's why.
it's for the laser printer that's by my desk as opposed to the color printer that's attached
Yeah,
to
and that's the one that I got, the 141 or whichever the name is for, and I ordered it, so let me take a peek, see what.
Maybe, I didn't see one in the closet, so maybe it's
Alright,
somewhere
yeah,
else.
if you don't see it, just let me know and I'll look over here.
Okay, I'll look again, but it's getting to a point where even shaking the cartridge doesn't get enough ink.
No worries, I'll take a peek.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
JT?
Alright. Pass one of those down. I've got some stuff for April. We're into an updated software again, so things are looking a little different, but I kinda like the way they look a little better. So, we haven't backloaded all of our data yet, so there are year-to-date stuff there, but those aren't accurate because we don't have the full year into the system yet. You'll see some of the things that's added on this activity report in the beginning is the events, so that's including like our meetings and trainings and stuff like that we're doing every month, so it's showing you how many events we have a month and how many each people are attending and how many hours the people are putting forth for those. We had 25 calls for the month of April.
How many people you got working for you? Quite a few.
Yeah, 13, 14, something like
18,
that.
it says. 18 personnel,
Yeah.
18
Look
personnel.
at that, 18. A couple of those have since gone inactive, but
Okay.
yeah. 25 calls for the month. As per usual, the majority were medical.
So the fire was the brush fire?
It's still in April.
No.
No, that was. Within
So what?
The brush fire up in Libby?
That was,
Oh,
That was last week.
yeah, that was in May.
Oh, May, okay, never mind. So over 50% is medical.
Now, is that medical for residents or for the treatment center?
It's mixed.
It's
It's mixed, yeah.
You're still keeping track of.
Yes.
I will say I'm starting to notice
100%, and it's not the main campus. The majority of the increase is with the respite house.
it's how funny as ours is flip flop.
Really?
Like our majority of our calls now up there are dealing with the campus when it used to be the respite. So
So what's the percentage of the 52% that it's dealing with the treatment?
Unfortunately, I don't have that in these stats yet, but the next months will include that.
And I could do like year-to-date numbers too, so I have a year-to-date percentage of what we're doing up there.
Perfect. Any questions? JT? Select
Nope.
audience? No.
I do have an outdoor event application I'm bringing forward on behalf of Camp Maris. They weren't able to come tonight, but I've been involved in the inspection. They're gonna be doing a fireworks show. It is private, they're not inviting the public, it's for their members. It'll be Labor Day weekend, May 25th, 18 to 20 minute show starting at dusk. It's a professional fireworks company that is doing the show, so they've already come in. I've done my initial inspection. Chief Eldridge came with me and checked out his side of things. They've applied for their state permits and all that good stuff they need.
What's
We
the
will
date?
be required to have fire service on site. So we will be providing a couple of firefighters and some equipment, and we will be billing them for our time that we're there working, so.
And just to confirm, you meant Memorial Day, right?
Yeah. I'm
What did I
sure
say?
Labor Day,
I'm sorry,
so it is in May,
May 25th, yes, I apologize.
no worries, I just wanted to double check.
If it's rainy, they do have a rain date the day before, May 24th. So if the weather's forecasted to be bad on the 25th, they might do it the day before.
Okay.
So I do have the application here if the board wants to review it. From safety perspective, I'm good. They've satisfied all the state requirements as far as their distances and things of that nature.
So they're gonna have a barrier out in the lake?
They'll have boats in the lake preventing any boats from coming too close, yes.
And Marine Patrol's been advised too. I looked in the commander of Marine Patrol last week, or no, 2 weeks ago. And he's gonna notify the gentleman that takes care of Rossby Lake that show's ongoing. So Marine Patrol usually has an assigned guy that
Right.
just patrols Rossby Lake in the summertime months. So he's gonna notify him and dispatch additional resources as he saw fit.
Do we need to sign this?
Nope.
Did you get the copy of the detail form I emailed you?
I did.
Okay, that just jogged my memory.
We see any problem going forward with this?
Nope.
Nope, we're good.
I mean, we've addressed it and we had concerns and that's been addressed, so through detail, so.
Next one I got, this is probably mostly for Chris, but, the the state program that allows us to get vehicles and things like that, we got the boat through it, and we tried for a couple forestries. We kind of opened up the list of things we were looking for to include any type of like highway department type machinery. Again, all this stuff is free of the town. If we're selected to get it, we just have to get it here.
Need a backhoe.
They sent us a case loader, a big loader. It's in Pennsylvania, so it's 200-ish miles from here. Looks like it's in great condition. It is listed as being completely operable with no mechanical concerns. So they sent it over for our review.
Is this free?
If we're selected to get it, it would be free to the town, yes, so,
Just transporting it and getting it here, so.
right. So there's photos and everything in there with that, and we can put our name in the hat if the board's interested.
Did that UTV in Florida fall through?
It did fall through.
You were just looking for a trip to.
You got one for me?
Oh, it would've been.
I just made one copy.
No, for my place.
Oh, yeah. So, if we were to obtain that, it would have to be under the ownership of the fire department for 1 year, and then it's released to the town as a piece of town property, and the town can do with it what they see fit.
If
So.
you had that, you'd need more than a fender on Rhonda's car.
Imagine how much water his driveway would be too.
No, I think he likes it narrow like that. He likes the challenge.
I put up a sign now. Beware of tractor. Yeah, it's a nice one. There you go.
It'd be nice if we're selected.
Yeah, so if you want me to put our name in the hat, I mean, I could do that
Yes.
anyway, we can always decline it if we don't end up wanting it, but
Yes.
we'll at least let them know we're interested. I have a trustee of the trust funds voucher. We got the assistance of firefighters grant last year for all our hose and nozzles. We've gotten all of our equipment delivered and the invoices are all paid. Our local match is $3,724, so I'm looking to take that out of the trust fund, the equipment trust fund, as we had talked about last year, so I have the voucher to allow them to cut the check.
So you're gonna take it out of the fire equipment,
Yes.
truck equipment? Okay.
Oh, yeah,
So put that away, you're gonna need it in a minute.
the same one.
Yep.
So, go ahead, gotta sign it.
I have another voucher here, during the budget season, the reason we had discussed putting the amount of money we did into the equipment trust fund this past year at town meeting was we needed to replace the Jaws of Life and start that replacement as ours have aged out and are basically beyond repair at this point. I have a quote to replace part of our Jaws of Life, this quote's for a cutter and a spreader, so it allows us to cut and spread the metal. They are the battery operated tools, which are basically the industry standard these days. Total purchase price is $22,850 for those two tools. And the reason I'm bringing this forward now is the companies have been notified that there will be quarterly 2 to 4% increases every quarter for the foreseeable future. So every quarter we wait, it's gonna cost more money. If the board is willing to deposit the 15,000 from town meeting into the trust fund now, we could make the purchase now, we'll have enough in the trust fund to cover that. And the firefighters association is putting forward 5,500 towards this purchase as well.
Now you're talking about the one out of this,
The fire department equipment
Yeah,
trust
the
fund,
equipment.
so we need to deposit the
The
15,000 that was
15,000
voted on at
into
town
six.
meeting.
yeah, it's only.
I know we typically wait till the end of the year, but
What'd you say?
Can we, no problem doing the
It's not a
deposit of
public meeting.
15,000?
If the board is willing to do so, we can put it in the manifest for like next week, as long as everything okay.
And we,
But you move
and
one.
just for further conversation, this isn't necessarily a question. So this was all discussed through the budgeting process, that this was a need for this year.
that was why we came up with the 15,000 to put in there this year, which is higher than our norm. So it was to allow for this purchase. And as you can see, the purchase already exceeded what we expected it to. So again, that's kind of why I'm trying to get this done now rather than waiting any longer. The association was able to put forward the increase, so.
So the total is 22,000,
The total is $22,850.
23, and
I'm asking for
15.
$17,350 from the trust fund.
so it'll bring us down to $4,000.
So we have the unfortunate, is this a current vendor?
Yes.
Okay, so under our purchasing policy, procurement
Current
policy,
policy.
it's an ongoing.
And because of the type of equipment it is, the manufacturer that we're buying these tools from, it's in line with what everybody around us has, so it's a vendor or a manufacturer we wanna stick with. This is the only place we can order from that vendor, it's territory specific, so we couldn't even get prices from other vendors for this particular product. So I think that meets the needs of the purchasing policy.
Yeah, we just, I mean, in the warrant article that was passed and many years ago and then updated, so we dot all our i's and cross all our t's, we're covered there, so it's, yeah, thank you.
So any issues with, moving the 15?
Nope.
Alright, so I'll pass that one around for you.
Another one? Oh, for approval.
Approved.
You on a roll tonight?
One more and we're done,
Do we have to sign?
maybe.
Nay.
If you approve this one, there's,
2 out of 3 isn't bad.
You gotta-
Got your losses.
You gotta shorten your name.
I know I do. Takes forever. the whole
Start
process.
initialing it.
I should.
Mine's not much shorter.
So I wanted to put this forward for the board to contemplate. You know, with what I was just saying about the price increases, they're continuing to go up. You know, they're just gonna get more expensive every year. When we talk about the jaws of life, there's typically three components. There's the cutter that cuts the metal, the spreader that can lift things and move things out of the way. And then we have what's called a hydraulic ram, which can actually lift things up, be it the vehicle or the dashboard or whatever, to get people's legs out. What you just signed was just a cutter and a spreader, which is only part of the complement of tools that we typically have, and it's part of what we have now. We currently have the ram as well. They're sold in packages, so the cutter spreader come in a package, and there's an additional package that I wanna propose. The additional package is that ram, the hydraulic ram to lift things like I was talking about, and then what's called a combination tool. A combination tool is a smaller set of jaws that does cutting and spreading all in one tool. It's not as good at cutting as a regular cutter is, but it's a lighter weight, easier to use tool. The cost for the package with the ram and the combi tool is $20,815. And that would allow us to put the combi tool on engine 3, and the remainder of the tools would go in engine 1, and that would allow us to take out of service all of our current expired equipment. Engine 1 currently has a hydraulic set of tools. It runs off a hydraulic pump, and it's from the early 90s. We had a hose blow in training last year, and they replaced the hose and said that was the last hose set we had for those, so don't come back because they don't exist anymore. We can't replace them. So if that fails again, it's done, it's out of service. The tools in engine 3 were bought with the truck in 2015, 2016. They are battery tools, but they're a first generation battery tool, and they use a DeWalt 36-volt battery, which doesn't exist anymore either. You can't have them rebuilt, you can't do anything with them at this point. We have one remaining battery that holds a little bit of a charge, and that's it. So when that battery dies, our tools are done for that haul. So they're still on the truck, but realistically, we don't rely on them at all because they're not reliable. The battery dies and we're done. We looked at upgrading those to accept a newer battery, and it was more expensive than buying new tools to upgrade the old tools. So my thought is, we have the fire truck and equipment fund. The stated purpose of that, even with our update at town meeting, was to refurbish, purchase, or equip fire department vehicles. We've got enough money in that.
But a portion of that's gonna go to the pumper, right?
Yes, so there's currently a little over $267,000 in the account. $247,000 is allocated for engine 2. That leaves us with $19,245 in the account. And then we have $10,000 voted on at town meeting to add to the account. If that $10,000 was added, we would have enough in the fund to make this purchase as well and get the full set in one go. So,
Sorry, my shoulder was locked.
I know it's not an ideal situation, but with the price increases, it would allow us to get the full set of tools in one go and avoid the,
How many times have you used it in the last 10, 15 years?
I couldn't give you numbers that far back, but I can tell you in the last 3 or 4 years, we've used them 15, 20 times. And especially battery operated tools like this, they are more apt to be used. The tools on engine 1, when you take them out, you gotta get a portable generator out of the truck and run the lines and connect all the lines up, and it's very labor intensive. So we tend to go with hand tools and things like that and work harder to get doors open. Whereas these tools, you can literally just walk them up, pick them up and go.
So would this?
So we would
do
use
the
them
same
more
thing as the one we just approved?
Well, this is in
The one you just approved was a cutter and a spreader. The one that I'm asking for now is the ram to do the lifting of the dashes and cars and things like that, and then a combination tool to put in engine 3.
this is part 3 of that.
Chris?
Obviously, given my fire experience, you know, you always do it's better to have it and not need it than not have it, but I know that the cost of things are going up, but I'd be more inclined to, once engine 2 is back, it's not gonna go on engine 2, but I don't wanna zero fund that.
And we'll be
I don't want that to be zero.
So when we were done with that fund, we would leave just shy of $30,000 in the account with the fire truck fund. when engine two is paid for and when the jaws are paid for, we would leave just shy of 30,000.
So we approved 246, but it's not gonna cut, what was the,
We have 265, you employed 247, that leaves us 19,000. This was a $20,000 bill. That'll leave us roughly.
You're correct, my math is way off, I don't know where my numbers
Roughly
came from.
$10,000 in there.
You're right.
right, that's what I was thinking. And we really don't know what, if there's any unexpected
Right,
issues
what
with the
else
bumper.
is gonna
And
come
that
up?
was right, so we had the unknowns of the pumper.
We know that the pump is all set. We did end up having to have it evaluated because we had that failure last year, so we know that the pump is not gonna have any failures. So
They don't have to touch it.
there's really nothing else, I mean, there's nothing mechanically, motor wise, transmission wise, there's nothing to go wrong there, we know that that's solid, so.
My other fear is it's well documented that engine three has been kind of a problem child. If we do have anything somewhat major, to me, having that piece of frontline apparatus, especially with engine two being gone at Lord's Hill, it sets precedence over. I understand and the importance of a RAM and, combi tool, but with a set of tools,
My initial, I mean, to be clear, my initial plan was to fund the trust fund again next year at town meeting and then make this second purchase next year.
I would more lean towards doing.
Like I
that.
said, I wanted to put it forward to the board, knowing that there's gonna be these price increases and knowing that everything we have really needs to come out of service. If we could do it now, that would be the ideal, get everything at the same time, but all the points make sense.
I like the idea of, saving the money because it's increasingly going up, but I don't wanna butt our nose up to
Yeah,
spite our face and
exactly.
have something happen with engine three, and we've got brand new tools and one piece of
Right.
apparatus. That's
The
just-
only other thing I could throw out there, somewhere I have the price listing. Instead of doing the package, we could just buy a combi tool by itself to put in engine three, and we'd just be deficient a RAM, and that would only be 15,500. So I don't know if that makes it easier to swallow or not, but that would be an option as well.
See, for me, where you have a cutter and a spreader, for me, the primary, cause if you guys are gonna go, it's not like the likelihood, I'm gonna knock on wood, the likelihood of having two scenes going
Right,
simultaneously, you're gonna want that RAM over that combi tool.
Well, where we would run into the problem, the reason that I'd wanna do the combi tool over the RAM. The night responses, engine three is our primary vehicle for nighttime response, so if it's Dan or Brandy or one of the people on this side of town grabbing engine three, we need to have something in that vehicle. That's the biggest thing, is having something on both sides. During the day, obviously, we're down there with engine one, so that's gonna have a primary set of tools. Engine three's gotta have something as well, so that at night, when that's the primary vehicle, it's got something on it.
And basically you have mutual aid, usually.
We do,
Something that's serious like that, you always have another fire department come in.
Yes.
we have the potential to request them.
I absolutely respect and appreciate the need for all of that stuff, but I would like to wait until after our next budget cycle.
And like I said, that was my original plan anyway, so I just wanted to bring this forward and have you folks make that decision, but I agree with your reasoning,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, we're depleting the budget pretty
Yeah,
much,
it's too much.
right,
It's coming
right,
down too
yeah.
much.
right.
so I agree with you.
And we can always revisit when engine two's done, if that comes in under budget or whatever the case.
Right.
We can always revisit it that way.
Right, which was kinda where I was going with engine
Right.
two when that came out.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you,
that's it?
that's it.
Kid and I are going to work.
Well, that's kinda disrespectful. You're a kid too,
Have a good night, guys.
Thanks, be safe. Go ahead, Steve.
What is the life of these tools looking forward?
That's tough to put a number on. I mean, the set of tools that we bought in 2016, I would have easily said back then that they're 20, 30-year tools. But they discontinued the battery. The tools themselves are fine. There's nothing wrong with the tools. We can't power them. And it's so ineffective to try and get them powered with a different type of battery. The tools are basically junk at this point. So, I mean, Hurst is the brand of tools we're buying. Hurst was one of the original tool manufacturers. They've been around a long time. These tools have already been in production for several years with the same type of battery. It is a proprietary battery, so they're not changing anything, and they're not relying on another vendor to provide the battery. The tools we have now are using a DeWalt battery, so DeWalt made the change, which is what messed us up. So with it being a Hertz specific battery, I would expect it to be less likely that anything would change with that battery. They'll continue to use that through newer generations.
Battery
How much are the batteries?
Battery technology is so much improved in the last 4 or 5 years.
It has.
It is, but the adapters to
Right,
adapt the
that's the
tools.
problem, right, yeah. You just can't get them anymore.
Right,
Unfortunately, it's all packages, so it doesn't itemize out what the battery itself is. But the one they did sign and approve tonight for the 20,000, that comes with 4 batteries and 2 chargers for two tools. So we'll have a spare battery for each tool and 2 chargers.
I suggest you never open that other battery.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Okay, moving on. Selectmen's report.
Thank you.
okay, I'll go first. Just attended a lot of different meetings, as you guys have as well. At the planning board meeting, the last meeting, it was brought up that people are still having a problem with the website. That they still cannot find things that were imported from the old website. I've already spoken to Caitlin about it. She's gonna look into it with Heidi. I suggested that perhaps the complaints that I'm hearing is, I can't find anything, it's hard for me to find, blah, blah, but there's nothing specific that I can say, okay, if it's specifically this report or that report, this is how you would get it. So
So they don't, is it the issue of drilling down into the website to find?
It's, well, this particular one, they were specific with this particular, they haven't been able to find, notice of decisions.
Oh, within the
That
planning
were
board.
old notice of decisions that apparently didn't make it over into the new website, or if they did, they just can't find them. So my suggestion was, and I've already, Caitlin's gonna check it out, was that maybe we could send notification to all of the boards and committees that if they're having a problem, to please send a list.
Specific,
Specifically, very specific list, so that the issues can be addressed, because just saying I can't find anything, or I don't like the way it works, or it's hard to find things, is not gonna help us to solve the problem and get the information out there.
agreed.
So I suggested that, and I
You all
believe
set with
that.
that, Karen?
Yep, and pretty much once that all gets set up, cause as Rosemary said, her and I had talked about it earlier. That way I can have Heidi also assist with looking and figuring out what is going on and what we
Please.
can do to make the ease of the website work, so.
Okay, great.
Would it be beneficial to do like a form on the website that somebody could fill out with like a suggestion, almost like a digital
So
suggestion
this
box
is what
kind
I'm
of thing?
looking for.
Yeah,
This one having a
Wouldn't
problem.
be a bad idea.
and then when they submit it, it would send to you and Heidi. or
Okay, that would
whatever.
be
And it
my-
would be
that
a
might be
specific,
the
it
big-
would be a
Yeah,
specific
in the forums,
request.
basically, if
Yeah.
you
Right.
can't find something on the website that was there in the past, or you want something, fill the form out, submit it.
Yeah.
We have records.
That's a good
That
idea,
one right to do, yeah.
that's a good idea,
No, it's a good idea.
that was a very good idea. Okay, the other thing is, which you've already addressed, is the rat problem. A couple of people have already approached me with, there's a problem with the rats.
So they're gonna call you the rat lady?
Yes, they're gonna, and not only the chicken lady, the rat lady now. They've approached them. I don't know, I'll tell you. I've told them that, you know, it's not just us, it seems to be, from what I've read,
The whole state.
the whole state is having this problem. Unfortunately, I think part of it is, not only like Chris had mentioned about the litters that they have, but I think the other part of it is, there's a lot of people clearing land and building houses and developing, you know, like subdividing, not just here, but throughout the state. And you're relocating all of these critters, and they're gonna expand. Also, you don't know if they're coming in from the waste management in the containers, or, you
No,
know.
we
you
have
don't
pest
think so?
control, no, because
Oh,
we,
okay.
last year we had the issue there and they do this building and the library and all
Okay,
that,
yeah.
and we brought them in there, and they got the boxes all over the
Right.
place.
Because-
And
Not to mention the fact that our containers don't get changed out, so it's kind of.
But I did ask the guys, I said, have you noticed any rats in the last couple of months, and he said no,
Okay,
so.
but I mean, that was one thing that they had said in this, article, that sometimes that might happen. People just have to understand too, that they're gonna have to close up the garbage and not leave food laying around and cut off water supply. I mean,
Right.
basically, we have to try to starve them out. I've also read something, where they have some sort of product now that will sterilize them so they won't reproduce, that's a new product that's out that they're trying. I don't know anything else about it, I just said, wow, that's an interesting idea. They eat it and they can't reproduce, so, I don't know. So I just wanted to bring that to the attention. The other thing is, the committee for the building, the municipal buildings, the fire and safety and the building out here, we have been meeting and we are moving along. We've gotten a couple of really good ideas and updates. We're still checking into it to find the best price point, to find the best solution. They're very different ideas, so if anyone has any ideas on buildings, please come to the meetings. They're the Tuesdays that the Board of Selectmen is not here, we're here.
It's at 6, right?
Yes, I
What?
believe so.
What time we here?
No,
5:30.
5:30. You got me confused there.
Sorry, that's why I said what?
Yeah, no, 5:30, that's right. We are going to probably meet, this is gonna be, it's a last minute, meeting. It'll be a walkthrough at the fire station to kind of update the last walkthrough we went on.
You said that our next one?
It'll be this Friday.
Oh, okay.
No, this Friday, I know,
It's an addition.
it's in addition to, I still have to reach out to people, I don't know.
We knew that you had your gentleman coming to speak at the next one regarding the building here, so we didn't wanna move the meeting down there and interfere with that, so.
Yep.
Mike was hoping to have a few minutes to just go over some of the
Yeah,
things.
and
he's learned.
I can't do Friday because we have our dinner Saturday, so I'll be there setting up for that, so.
Gotcha.
I can't.
And I won't be able to make it for minute taking as long as someone else can, I'll be here for audit.
Well, we'll be at the fire station, it's not gonna be a really.
Probably gonna be a half hour
meeting. It's
thing.
just gonna be a half
We
hour
could do some basic
walkthrough.
minutes.
No
for you.
problem, I can do that, I just have to be here for audit, so I can't.
Right,
We're good.
right. So that's the update on that, we do have another meeting next week, where we will, update, we have our regular meeting next week.
Right.
Chris is looking at me like, huh?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so we'll have that, yes,
Question, you said 2 PM for Friday though, so I can get that,
2 PM, right? That's what,
That'll
Mike
be-
had
that's what Mike had
suggested to you,
mentioned.
2 PM.
You good?
I'm good, and that's it. It's all you, Chris.
Okay. Outside of meetings that we've attended, also, just to give update on the Pine River Road roadside mowing mulching. For those people that don't know, just a little quick thing, it's a excavator like you'd see doing foundations and digging like that, and it has a mulching head on it. He's completed the 1.1 miles that is slated for reconstruction this year. That's what we wanted to earmark, first. The board did agree on a budget of $15,000 to be spent on that. It is $3,000 a day, it is costly, but, it's very effective, way of doing it. He did have some time, so he's moved on to the next section, for future. Focusing on the area of PK Motel across from that, because the vegetation is really growing into the road. It's not the prettiest thing, it really isn't. When you stand the machine up and you take back the limbs, you get the gnawed off stub that sticks out. It's gonna take some time for that to naturally, heal itself and brown up. And at first, it's not really the prettiest thing. To have somebody come and mow that with a chainsaw or mow it with a machine and then high limb it would take 3 to 4 times the length, if not longer, to do this type of work. So it is the most cost-effective way. It's what everybody's doing now. The power companies are doing it as opposed to having the ground guys do hand cut. They did Townhouse Road, Green Mountain Road last year underneath the power lines. They're doing it all over the state. It is the most cost-effective way of doing it. So far, to my knowledge, unless you tell me otherwise, we've only gotten one complaint, and it wasn't to us, it was to the gentleman that was running the machine, so, that's a good thing, but sight distance, for people, I've talked to several residents on that road. I see them out there and I just stopped and said, do you have questions, do you have concerns? So I talked to individuals, homeowners there, and they love the fact that when they get to the end of their driveway, particularly when we have the traffic, there was a detour there last Thursday. Yeah, Thursday, the sight distance out of your driveway is amazing, so. It's something we hope to, continue to do throughout the town. We definitely will focus on any road projects, moving forward. So on Thursday, I met with the, contractor from Dawson, the foreman, and, the manager of the company, to do a walkthrough, final walkthrough. They're reaching out to DigSafe. They originally were gonna start, and I think I made at one of the selectmen's meetings, I made the statement that, they're gonna start on the 26th. We all kind of spaced it. The 26th is actually a holiday, so they're actually starting on the 27th. So I would like to get something on the website. I would also like to run by you, the board, about when we post it on the website and maybe get some signage that while that's being worked on, that we close it to, limit it to local traffic only.
That makes sense.
I agree.
Would you
Okay.
like me to also list that when I post on the website?
Yes, please. And hopefully that will, like the roadside mowing, he sits right out on the road. I mean, that's part of the time consuming part, the excavator sits right out on the road, it's a big machine to reach out to everything, get underneath the power lines before he sets over. And he was amazed by the amount of traffic volume that's on that road. He's doing roadside mowing, they're gonna be in the roadbed, so if we could try to limit that and put a posting to it to local traffic, I think that would be helpful.
Similar to what's in Oxby by the post office, what they're doing there, putting the.
Correct, yep.
Real fast regarding the sign saying limited traffic only, do we have one already, or do you need one to be?
We,
Or does Dawson have it?
yeah, well, I mean, the signage
Okay.
will be, and because we're talking about signage, not because of that, we do need a couple more street signs. Street signs are very expensive before name signs. Before I order them, are you guys okay if we get some, like Jones Road needs to be purchased, we don't have a Jones Road sign. I don't have my list right here in front of me, but we do have a couple of street
Okay.
signs need to be purchased, if you folks are okay with that. Alright,
On the
it won't
signs.
be a big purchase. It won't be a big purchase like it was last year where we had to catch up because we had so
Right.
much stuff
Right.
that took up our entire budget. So we're in much better shape than we were,
Okay.
so.
On the signs, we had a brief discussion about, Granite Road was the example I came up
Oh,
with
yeah.
right off the bat.
Yeah.
When you come off Nutter Road, you can turn left or right onto Granite Road. If we could place some kind of a small sign there that says, house numbers XYZ this way, house numbers XYZ that way, that would be huge, especially for the emergency response.
Yeah,
I know
and that is
fine.
actually on my list as one of the signs.
Yeah,
And at some point in time, which is also on my list right here, at some point in time, we have to make the decision of the other end, the 153 Providence Lake Road end, that per 911, we need to rename that. End of Granite Road, because the bridge is out,
Right.
or we open the bridge.
fill it with vehicles. Do you have road signs for the Clough and Granite corridor? I don't think Wilkinson Swamp has one on that side.
Yeah, I have that sign.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's
So,
on that to-do list.
What's the process to rename the road?
There's two methods. We can do it via a public hearing and allow the public that lives on that road to come in and express their thoughts and feelings. Or we can do, for lack of a better term, a forced change. The force change is a little bit harder to do.
Right.
It's better when it's voluntary. So,
How many houses on that road? On this side?
Give me a second.
12 comes to mind.
Yeah, it's,
Oh, that many?
so there's
Wow.
6, there's 5 on the left, 11.
Wow.
So is there a way we probably get the 11 residents to probably come up with a name?
Well, no.
No, I'm just.
Because
throwing
some of, the only reason why I say that is some of them was, they're obviously seasonal, there's, there's, you know, 2 properties that don't, they have, RV permits.
that- Okay,
That's not to say that we can't reach out to them, but, I still say that, I mean, there's only one name it should be, so, and that was the original resident of that road that.
And what is
belonged to
that?
the George Downs Road. That's where his home was, that's where he raised his family,
There's
that's
no
where
worry
he
about
was
it
when he.
interfering with another road name, so we don't have to go over that. While we're on that topic, I mean, there's a list of E911 stuff that overall we need to catch up on, but, there's another big violation, and it hasn't been an issue yet, thankfully, but it's another one of those conversations. Pine River Road and Pine River Path is also a violation, you can't have the similar names. So, that one's gonna be tough, cause there's a lot of houses on both roads.
well, Pine River, we're not changing.
And Pine River Path is private, so they still have to follow the rules, but that might be the path of least resistance if they're willing to change their name.
I say return Pine River Road back to Johnny Thompson Road.
You might have you got a lot more people to deal with.
Did we get a bunch of those, closed to local, except for local traffic to put up like at the beginning of, Green Mountain Road and.
Yeah, I know.
25?
Alright, so getting back on topic,
We also kind of tabled Jolly Roger Village last year because of a lack of response from their management, but that's still on the docket.
you got time to take this task on?
I mean, it's mine, E911, it's,
Well, yeah, I mean,
you know, it's on my
between
plate,
all 3,
but
Pine River Pass,
So much like a couple of the other properties and the state inspector and stuff like that, I told JT already I would be the, you know, rep for the selectmen to go with them.
okay.
To some
I
of
think
these
it's
problems.
best to bite off one at a time, you know, don't try to do all the big projects
What's the
at once.
priority one?
But, I think right now the priority is granite,
Okay,
and I think that'll be relatively the easiest.
For the road names.
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the bridge.
No, the priorities on the other aspect of it is another business that's on one of the other roads
Yeah.
that needed a name
Yeah, oh yeah.
change.
And then the campgrounds are another topic,
Okay, let's start with the granite.
Remick Road and the 25 campground, they both need to be addressed with street names. And Camp Marist is gonna be addressed differently, we have a meeting there on the 20th, so.
You'll be discussing it.
Yeah, and the gentleman from the state is coming for my inspection with me, so hopefully we can agree on something that day and just get it done. They already have some informal road names that aren't fully recognized, that work, that, you know, would be acceptable to the standard, so that should be a pretty easy transition over.
Okay.
So,
Alright, so you'll start on, granite.
and I did invite,
Elena,
thank you, to come to Marist for the assessing side of that, because obviously the tax
Oh,
cards will
perfect.
have to change. So I've been involving her in those conversations as well for the assessing side.
Thank you.
Good.
Any additional?
I'll try to speed this up, yeah. So cold patching, obviously at a last meeting, we talked about issues with cold patch. And it was hardening and even though it hadn't been handled. So at my other hat, we got a load of cold patch UPM today. It was excellent material. So go back to our original vendor and get new cold patch. There's several places outside of Pine River Road, that need, you know, that have potholes. Obviously, Jones Road, Drake Road, the intersection of Champion Hill Road, are gonna need cold patch. There's some holes on this road, so there's several places.
A little bit on townhouse too. one
Yep.
small one.
Yeah.
So the ones on Townhouse Road, unfortunately, those are the wear coat, it's single surface, so it's very thin. when you put cold patch in, it doesn't stay. When it's that thin, it doesn't stay, just the weight of a traffic will break it out.
So it's the point.
So
Yeah.
you do kinda have to wait for it to get a little bit deeper, and, I mean, there are enough you can feel them with a car, but that single layer surface, that wear coat, it delaminates, and that's one of the things that Bruce was talking about, and he called, left me a message, I just remembered I have to call him. Kevin is grading this week, they did, do cold patching. They did patching yesterday with the holes that everybody was talking about on social media on Pine River Road. Some were very bad, they did it with gravel. Again, the reasoning behind that is that that road is gonna be, reclaimed in a short order. So it doesn't make sense to put cold patch on it, that is very expensive, it's $1,864 for a load. I think that's, if memory serves me correct, that's what the invoice said. So we're putting gravel, we gotta put add gravel to that road anyway, so it is a temporary fix, as long as Mother Nature cooperates, it does last a lot longer, but it's certainly better than what was there. And again, Kevin is grading, today, while the sun is shining, you make hay where the sun shines. So he's making hay. The, street sign, the street lighting thing was an issue we brought up in the manifest, and looking into that invoice about why that's so expensive to deliver. If that continues, I see us, which I think we were over budget on street lighting last year for that line
I think it was
item.
by a few $100.
So we need to maybe take a hard look if that's what it costs, we need to take a hard look on where those streetlights are located and the necessity and maybe.
I
Agree.
agree.
Well,
I
wait for the
definitely
answer.
agree.
And the to-do list thing. We need to, if we need to have a work session and get caught up on our to-do list, I'd be more than happy to do that. We can't kick the can down the road anymore as far as the flooring here goes. I know that we had issues reaching out to one particular vendor, their hours were very limited.
Yeah, she's gonna go out for an
We're
RFP.
gonna do an RFP, I'll get
So we
that
need to
created.
work on that, the
Yep.
plumber, for the plumbing issues here, I have reached out to him
Oh, okay.
and
I
how we're gonna
thought
address
was a new
that.
issue, sorry, that's why I look off guard.
Yeah. The pest control, looking at that contract and having that conversation.
You wanna set up something next week to have this work session?
Yeah, you can't do Fridays. Yeah,
You're working-
well, we can discuss it.
Chris, before I forget, if you wanna just take a note, during our renovation, we're gonna be removing the hot water tank that's at the fire station currently. It's in fantastic shape. It might make sense when he does his work, rather than dealing with these on demands, to just move that here since we already have it. We're not gonna need it, so.
May I put a suggestion for a work session?
Please.
If the building committee meeting for Tuesdays at 5:30, I know you work later hours, Chris, would 4:30 work for you and have a quick one beforehand?
Yep.
That way it's just set there, does that work for everybody?
That's fine. Sure,
Which one, 4 or 4:30?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask.
4 o'clock,
4 o'clock,
yeah, that will give us an hour and a half,
okay.
cause you know how Leo likes to talk.
It's hard to concentrate on what we use.
I'm all set, thank you.
Don't forget. Yeah, like they both said, meetings last couple of weeks, so. I did fix the back steps for the police, last week or week before. Removed the gutter and then clean up behind the storage container. Got that all set up, cleaned out. As far as the transfer station, everything's going pretty good, I mean, except for, not being picked up for the demo, but, I think they're on schedule. So tomorrow we'll see, they're supposed to be, picking up another demo, so. I did look at the manifest to verify, I think I'm gonna have Brad. He's there almost every day, he stops in, so I'm gonna have him start documenting when they pick up the containers and when they deliver it. Just so I can verify it to their bills, the day, it all works.
And like I said, and I said it to, I believe, maybe all of you at different times, but for me, if I can get the exact or correct information, if I have to reach out for anything, if I get the correct information from somebody, like I had a lot of confusion before I left for vacation, cause I was told one, and I was told all, and it got a little mixed up, so if possible, if there are any issues, to kinda give me the exact of what's going on.
And on top of that, I think Brad also started to reach out to Waste Management, he'd made a couple calls and stuff like that, so I'm trying to, instead of having you task doing that.
And I'm sure he also has the account numbers too, which probably helps a little bit better.
So I'm trying to task him to do
Container.
more of it and stuff, but I still wanna set up a meeting with Pete
Yep, we'll get that.
in here, have him come in. You know,
Because it's not just about the containers for
No.
me, it's about the wear and tear on our
On
town
the
roads.
right, change it,
That I wasn't aware of
right,
was
Those
happening
roads are really,
on, and that road's really getting beat up, and it
it
kind of
is.
makes you scratch your head and say, is that a main contributing factor?
yeah. Totally
Quite
agree,
possible.
probably,
yeah, I wouldn't have a problem, you know, to wanna use the transfer station, the transfer is okay, but, yeah, that's not our roads. I agree. So, that's it for me.
there was something else that I totally forgot about, just.
Happens to the best of us.
I know, right, I thought of
Both
you as
side
soon
of
as
me.
I said, nuts, I forgot to mention this. A resident reached out to me, and I think she forwarded the copies, that she would like to see a store at the transfer station, so that items aren't destroyed from weather and so on and so forth. I told her I would bring it to the select board, I don't see how that would really work,
No,
because I think Brad and the people down there are not gonna really have time to monitor this.
well, that's gonna happen is it's like other communities, I mean, basically you see a bunch of junk, stuff that should go in a demo.
Right.
They're putting in so they don't
Into
have
a
to
store,
pay,
that was
they don't
what I
have to
said.
pay and everything
Right,
else,
and she's
so
talking about maybe a shed or something, so that means erecting a shed, or,
donate
I
it,
just,
donate it to the Goodwill.
I mean, unless you
That's my
guys feel
personal
different,
Yeah, I
my
mean,
personal opinion was.
Every time that this has been, you know, historically, it just doesn't work out.
doesn't.
I mean, for a long time, even the free table went away. Unfortunately, people do abuse it, just like Leo said, they don't wanna have to pay,
Right,
so.
so they dump it there.
Like Bartlett and Conway, was it Bartlett and Jackson or something like that,
Yep,
they had the issues,
yep.
Right.
alright,
I just told her I'd bring it up, so
you brought it up,
brought it up.
you brought it up. Town administrator report, please,
Mine will be pretty short. I was away last week.
you're on vacation,
I was on vacation. Worked on the Dawson's contract, so, assuming everything went well with that, so I'll reach out to them tomorrow. Gathering the final little bits of items for audit, and that's taking place Thursday and Friday, so. And then I'll work on, my next project will be working on that RFP for the floors, so we can get that sent out.
good. Yeah, we'll talk, that's it,
That's all.
business. Guess we have no business, I don't know, what's that?
Well, usually there would, I didn't have anything that was notated on my stuff, and
Okay,
then I didn't hear that you guys had anything that was.
Sounds good.
We discussed, so.
announcements, offices will be closed May 26th, Memorial Day, and the town clerk, tax collector's office will be closed May 28th for training. Public comments. Yes, Susan, thank you for coming.
You've been so patient.
Couple of things from, the Historic District Heritage Commission meeting last night. We voted to ask you guys to reappoint, Mike Conti and Eric Jones for 3-year terms.
I'm shaking my head because I was supposed to go to that last night. I went last Monday, and it was a conservation commission.
Well,
You're a rep, aren't you?
I'm the rep.
that's one thing.
I knew I was forgetting
I don't
something
know
last night.
what you need to be able to vote to appoint them.
You want us to do that tonight?
Yes.
Yes,
Go ahead, you're the rep, make the,
I make a motion to reappoint Mike Conti and
Eric
Eric.
Jones,
Eric Jones to the
Historical.
I almost did it again.
historical.
Historic District and Heritage Commission
3-year term.
for 3-year terms.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Also, last night, Carol Pfister, who has been serving as an alternate, she needs to step down. She's got too much on her plate. She's been asking us to, I mean, she's great. I mean, she's done a lot of stuff as an alternate for us.
Mhm.
But she's got
She's bouncing all over the place.
Yeah.
She's got several,
Yeah.
jobs and grandson to deal with and lots of things. So she wants to step down. And Chuck Fuller has agreed that he would serve as an alternate. So we voted last night to ask you to appoint Chuck as an alternate to finish out the term that Carol started.
And when's her term done?
Uh,
Sorry to ask.
I think, I
2027.
think it's 2 years.
Yeah.
I think it's 2 more years.
Yeah, because she was appointed last year, so I
Yeah.
believe it was.
She's only been on for a year.
I make a motion to appoint Chuck Fuller as the alternate for the remainder of the departing Carol Fisper's term to the end of, or to the voting of 2027, to the Historic District and Heritage Commission.
As an alternate?
As an
I said alternate,
Yeah.
didn't I say alternate?
That's what he
Said at
said.
the beginning of-
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 The next question, and maybe you've already answered it, is we have not heard who is the selectman's rep.
Me,
Okay, if we had known that, I could have emailed you all our
I
information about
apologize.
the meeting.
I had it marked in my calendar because I had and I may have misheard him, but I asked Chuck one point in time, I said, when did they meet? And I thought he said the first Monday. So it's the second.
Yeah.
So I came last Monday and as soon as I saw Emily, I was like,
Oops, wrong Monday.
So it's on the website, right?
it is on the website. I went home and looked and I got home and I was supposed to go last night. And because my mind and my notes were focused on last Monday, I forgot all about last night.
That's okay. If you could tell me where I should email the agenda and the information to.
The
you ahead of
government.
time?
My government email, which
So
is on the
it's-
website.
It's on the website?
Yep.
Okay. All right, excellent, good.
Sorry.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We'll be glad to have you there. And just, you maybe already know this, the selectmen's rep is a voting member. So anytime you're not there, we're down a member. And then
Sorry.
we really need to rely on our alternates. So sometimes people don't realize they're a voting member.
The second Monday of every month.
Yes.
I can't make it next month. I'm just kidding.
Good. And then the final thing, we had a long discussion also last night about the website and the inability to find things. And I get your point about just write down specific things.
Mhm.
But it's bigger than that. It's a website that isn't designed for the person who knows nothing and goes to the homepage and tries to figure out where to go. And they have to make 4, 5, 6 clicks to get to a public notice that there's gonna be an application in the historic district, whatever. That's not the way it should be. So it's a design issue as much as, specific. It's easy to say, oh, could you change the name of the selectmen's rep on our page? I mean, that's easy. Those are specific, easy things. But it's just not a user-friendly progression to the information. You're asking people to know too much about the town and where to find things. This issue of public notices especially, the right to know law says that you can use your website as one of the postings where it says you have to post something in 2 public places, you can use your website, but if nobody can find anything there, what, you're really not achieving the spirit of that statute, your obligation to let people know what's happening. I just think there really has to be a bigger overview of the website and how to fix it. We were talking last night about, instead of 2 or 3 different places to find historic district or heritage stuff, there should be one page that you click on a home page, it clicks you to our commission's page, and then you have choices on that page. Here are the minutes, here's the agenda, here's the public notices, here's the applications for approval, that type of thing. One click that a person can find that they're looking for. It's, I don't know, we're happy to talk to whoever, maybe there needs to be a group meeting of different board members and see what we can do to
Leo,
improve
got a
things.
comment?
Let me just jump in, yeah, and I agree with, I understand where you're coming from, and I think we probably should sit down as the board, go through it, come up with some initial suggestions.
And if that's the case, I'd like Heidi too, because
Oh, yes,
Heidi
definitely.
has
Yes,
taken
definitely.
over
Yes, yeah,
that portion.
yeah,
so.
before I involve all the planning
But
board,
you guys didn't design it, it's this
No.
vendor that has
Right.
designed it,
right, but we can change it,
but
So I, if you don't mind me jumping in first.
Yeah.
I could definitely, we can have them reach out, and we did just have them install 2 separate things, one being a search bar, one being a calendar. Another thing that I'm trying to get them to do, they have not done yet, but they've heard from multiple towns, not just me, is an email blast. So for having, people who want to sign up to get agendas or special notices or closures or
awesome,
anything like that, I did express that to them and
Yeah.
say I really would like to see that. I'm just waiting for them to do it. And it sounds like it's in the works, and while we ask to see if we can make that an easier way to navigate, I'll see if they have any updates on where they're at for that email blast. Because that's one thing I know, I believe the town of Ossipee, does. So they'll send out their agendas, or hey, this office is
Yeah.
closing, and I think that'd be a great way for the public to be in the know.
yeah, and it's like a sign-in, kind of like you,
We would have, either they would
let
sign
the town
in.
office know we wanna be on that list.
Exactly, it'd either
Yeah.
be something that's
You sign
there
up for it.
or
Right.
reaching out to the
Right.
town, I don't know how that will work yet, not knowing where it's at. But yes, someone would have to physically sign up to get that, I can't just mail it to everybody,
Yeah,
but.
wait a minute,
That'd be good.
JT?
Along with what Caitlin was just saying, I mean, I've helped a little bit with this, but Caitlin and Heidi were both handed a template that a prior administration created, and
Right.
unfortunately, they've been making the best of a bad situation.
Right.
I mean, I guess really the question is, does this company have other templates, if you will, that, look more like another town's website?
That's one thing I just kinda had written down
Yeah.
with Susan's comments.
And if they can do a different format, and on the email blast thing, I had had a brief conversation with one of the guys about that earlier in the year. And said the same stuff you had said, it's something that everyone else does, how come you don't have it? And he had expressed that it was in development, however, it was gonna be a package that you have to add on. And it was like $8,000 to $10,000 a year
Wow.
additional.
Oh,
That's crazy.
And I told him, I was like, that's insane, just to
It
have an
is.
email blast, cause we don't want the rest of what it comes with that package.
Okay.
So hopefully that they've
That's insane.
discussed that.
Cause when I brought it up a few weeks ago, I was told it's in the works,
Yeah.
but no one ever mentioned a price point.
Yeah, and again, that was
Because I was
earlier this
talking-
year, so that may have changed,
I was
but,
talking about the 2 applications we have, so.
yeah. The other side of that conversation is I had researched previously another company. And it's the company that Ossipee, Wakefield, Tamworth, all the other towns are using that does the email blasts and all that stuff. And their pricing is similar, it's a little bit more expensive, but it's similar to what we pay on the current contract, so if they can't meet what we're looking for, that might be another
So
conversation
then we'll just get
about
rid of,
breaking the contract with them, whatever that entails, and moving to a new vendor. I don't know if it's a situation where we can just leave them and be done and stop paying them, or if there's a
Well, we pay
buyout
for
or.
3 years, so pretty much we pay if for the 3 years, if we don't want them, we just don't renew.
We just
I will
don't re-up,
confirm,
so,
and we just got them, so.
yeah,
I mean, we can always look at that as an option, I have quotes from that other vendor.
Well,
So
before we do that, let's all sit
reach out.
down.
give them the chance to.
No,
fix
let's all sit down first and come up, look at the, the website, say,
And see.
what do we want?
Right,
I agree with you.
Would it be a good idea to have like at least one person from each?
I don't wanna get too many people in.
Yeah, I know, but
I mean, I think the big thing, and hearing what you said is, each board, commission and department needs its own page.
yeah, right,
That's what,
That
that's-
page can be dictated by that board or commission, but they need their own space.
yeah.
It's kind of lumped together now,
So
and
like a home page could be like, welcome to Effingham, and then you see all the different.
your bar, basically,
And then
fire
the
department,
roads.
police, whatever,
That's,
Yeah.
select
you
board.
click on whatever,
it's got roads.
But I like to
cleanup,
just
it's
sit
got
down first.
Scheduled for the
Yeah,
20th.
okay,
And then, once we come up with
Who's
something, then we
responsible
can bring the board in,
Updates.
Okay.
head of the boards.
okay.
And this, go
One
ahead.
other computerish kind of thing, so,
Heidi's been doing all of
documents
that.
that
I mean, there's one that says April 20th,
want
you get roadside
keep
cleanup on
digitally.
it.
It has the.
But we
Okay,
don't want, they're not accessible to the public. How would we store,
I think that'll be a good one-on-one for you and I to get together, because there is a method with the new email system,
okay,
and it's backed up and secure and all that good stuff, so, if you want, we can get together one-on-one at some point when it's convenient for you, and I can show you how that works.
okay, yeah, I'll
Do-
probably,
it goes in a cloud, right?
The SharePoint cloud, yeah.
Yeah, SharePoint cloud.
okay,
Just so you know, in case you didn't know, he's our in-house IT.
yes,
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you did, so you weren't like,
so.
why am I meeting with the fire chief? So,
Would any member of the board be able to access
As long as
that file?
one of two things happens, either they have the email address and password for your board, or you can share it and just generate a link and you send them a link to the document and then they can open it. Those are the kind of the two methods of sharing it, so.
Yeah, but do you really want everybody on the board to have the password?
That's up to the boards, some of the boards have said, yeah, every member of the board should have access to that because it's all shared
I
data.
thought it was supposed to be limited to one or two people.
well, it would make sense though to just send the link to the specific person.
Right,
So you're only sending it to one
and
person.
that doesn't have to be for one document, that could be for a whole folder of documents. So it, you wouldn't have to do a link for every document, it could be a whole folder of information that you share with a link.
There's options.
Right,
You probably wanna sit down with JT. He'll show you.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting for you to
I
answer.
probably want another member with me.
That's okay.
Just let me know what's convenient, even if it's one of your meeting nights and you'd like me to just come in for that or whatever, just let me know.
Alright, yeah, good, I appreciate
And
it.
just so you know, I pulled up the town's website, so I had some questions,
So,
that's
Uh,
what,
Yeah, but Steve's been raising his hands quite a bit here.
I
Go,
just, while we're on this subject of the website, could someone do a better job of editing the calendar? That's put up, because it showed tonight at 6 o'clock, a library trustee meeting. No, doesn't happen, not tonight. So,
so it just so happens, Steve, that I have it pulled up, and that's what we were talking about, is the schedule and the updates of things and the,
now just confirm, Steve, when do they meet so I can inform Heidi?
Is there a meeting time for the library?
When do they usually
it
meet?
says that there is.
we meet on Thursday, we meet on, the first Thursday of each month.
Is it at 6?
What?
Is it at 6 or 6:30?
At 6.
6.
Our next meeting is June 5th. On a Thursday.
Who's-
Alright, I'll get that over to Heidi and we'll get that
Yeah,
updated.
when I was just going in to check different things and I saw it. I said, wait a minute, cause I'm old, did I lose something the last meeting where they said, well, we're gonna have a special thing going on tonight? Because I would've had this and then that, so I gave Grace a call, she says, no way. She said, she said it isn't the first time that they've had a glitch happen with that, so I just wonder if somebody could do a better job of just making sure that that it's proper.
Nope, I agree, we'll get that corrected there.
Thank you.
What goes on the calendar? Is it just different meetings or?
So, yeah, so the calendar's new.
Yeah.
So,
like the
inputting
idea.
inputting the meetings and putting closures of the offices.
Yep.
So if the clerk's office is closed or closed for a holiday, for example, Memorial Day. Just a good idea, and makes it easier, it's just a whole picture.
Yeah.
So, I figured for are we open or are we not? Like if the transfer station's closed on very limited holidays that may fall on a Sunday, that's there. So it's easier to look at instead of jumping through
Yep.
hoops.
Oh, I agree.
So that was,
I just wondered if it was like any organization could say, hey, could you put this on your calendar? Or if it's just,
no, if you have something
Yeah.
like something special, like, hey, for example, I have a public hearing on something in the historic district, could you put it on there too? And we could do that as well.
okay, alright.
It's actually why I pulled it up, because I knew that the calendar was new. So to your point about public hearings, if somebody had an application or something like that, they could be added to this calendar. So that's what I was that's why I pulled it up. You don't have any pending cases,
No, we had one last night.
and I missed that too.
Yes, you did.
So when,
Cause the historic district commission meeting is the 12th at 6 o'clock, it's right on the calendar.
But she's looking towards the information, the
Yeah, I know,
application.
well, no, I know, yep.
I knew what she was talking about.
so my question on the calendar, when they were requesting to put information on the calendar, do you get an email?
Well, yeah, they would email me or
So you got
email me and
documentation,
Heidi. Yeah, and then if it's just to me, I'll forward it over to Heidi, so that way she can enter it on there.
Okay, so you keep that documentation, that emails to,
Yeah.
in case something like this tonight.
Yeah, but it usually should either at least be me and Heidi, or if someone just emails me, that's fine too. It's just so that way.
Heidi's handling this?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, good.
Well,
That's it. Any questions? Any public comment? Anything else? Are we good?
Two quick comments, I'll be
Yeah,
fast,
please.
I promise. IT stuff, while we were on that tangent, I just wanted to make a general comment. Over the last 3 weeks, they've reached out just about every day with a new issue they found in our network or this or that, or a problem they've identified somewhere. The amount of stuff that they've fixed in this short amount of time has been incredible, and there's no extra charge for any of the extra work they've been doing. It's just part of our contract. So security stuff has increased tenfold. We've had a couple issues where, a piece of software stops working on the computer, and they've been incredibly fast to fix that. The office has had to call a few times to have this or that fixed, and they've been extremely responsive. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that our money's been well spent with them so far.
Perfect.
And at least my interactions have been fantastic, so.
Great, thank
Just
you.
wanted to throw that out there.
And I can agree, my interactions with them have also been.
On that topic, as we were sitting here talking about the website, I just sent Tom, the owner, an email asking if he's dealt with Town Cloud for websites, if he has any suggestions, recommendations, anything of that nature. So being someone that deals with all the municipalities, I'm sure he's got some experience somewhere.
Yeah, I
I might
would
have some
assume, yeah.
input. So I CC'd you on that.
Uh,
Second thing, I failed to mention earlier, they're starting the bathroom renovation this coming Thursday. So the fire station bathroom renovations will be starting. on
You got a
Thursday.
porta potty,
I was
right?
gonna say.
They ordered it today, so it'll be placed before they shut the bathroom down.
Okay.
Okay, good. Good. Still got a shower
There will be.
in the porta potty?
In the porta potty, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
We got the garden hose.
Got the engine. Any other? Make a motion to adjourn?
nope,
No,
Nope, oh, yeah, that's right. Make a motion to go into non-public session, RSA 91-8:3, comma, numeral 2, little c.
second,
All in favor?
Siemens eye.
Aye.
real fast before I pause it, can you say the time?
6:10.
Thank you all.
thank you.
You wanna just hit the button to use Chris's mind?
If I don't see you in the office the rest of the week, I will see you all on Saturday.
Forgot the agenda.
What?
Come see me now.
Make a motion to come out non-public,
Why do I gotta come see you now?
7:10,
A second,
all in favor?
Stevens, aye.
Christine, aye.
aye,
Make a motion to adjourn,
second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I gotta do the signature folder now.